The New York Giants dropped to 0-2 on the season this past weekend, but unlike their demoralizing Week 1 loss, Week 2 showed that the Giants' offense might not be the inefficient, incompetent unit that we saw against Washington. Russell Wilson pulled a vintage performance out against Dallas as his offense put up 37 points in their loss. Wilson threw for 450 yards with 3 touchdowns, blowing his Week 1 performance out of the water. Wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson had nothing but praise for his veteran QB during his press conference Monday. "All those throws were pretty crazy. Those deep balls were dropping just right in the bucket," Robinson said. "We were watching and Russ was putting them where we got to catch it. We have no other choice." Wilson's deep ball was the most apparent improvement from Week 1 to 2, as he hit his 2 marquee pass catchers in Robinson and Malik Neighbors for a combined 309 yards, almost double the amount of passing yards he had in the entirety of Week 1. The Giants' offense came under heavy scrutiny after their loss to the Commanders, where their defense played more than well enough to earn a win, but the offense couldn't back it up. People went as far to say that Wilson should have been replaced by rookie Jackson Dart. Wilson must have heard these criticisms and used them as fuel for his resurgent performance against the Cowboys. Robinson also praised Wilson for recognizing his potential and trusting him to make plays down the field as opposed to his typical role as a short reception slot receiver. "From the moment Russ got here, he was like, 'Dude, I know you can get down the field. I've seen it,'" Robinson said. "We worked out together, and he was like, 'I didn't even know you could run that well just from watching the tape from previous games. We're going to make sure this gets going.'" Offense and defense swapped poor showings in first 2 weeks. After the offense lost the Giants their Week 1 matchup, it was the Giants' defense that let them down in Week 2, letting Dak Prescott and the Cowboys' offense run rampant in Dallas. What was supposed to be the Giants' main strength heading into the season was their downfall on Sunday. Their secondary allowed Prescott to complete 38 passes for 361 yards to 8 different receivers, while their run defense was not up to snuff in trying to stop Javonte Williams out of the backfield. Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Elijah Garcia each registered a sack, while Drew Phillips had an interception, though none of these plays were enough to deliver enough of a spark to the New York defense on the whole. Robinson confident in Giants moving forward. Outside of Wilson's emergence from his own self-dug grave, the Giants got encouraging performances from rookie Cam Thibodeau and Robinson himself, who set a career high with his 142 receiving yards. If Robinson becomes a legitimate threat to complement Neighbors, the New York offense will gain a dynamic they've been missing for so long, that being multiple outside threats. Thibodeau led the Giants in rush attempts, showing the trust that he has quickly gained from his coaching staff. Robinson is confident that his team has what it takes to compete next week against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football and beyond. "I think we believe we can do it. From top to bottom, we have the players that can go out and get the job done, and just go out there and continue to score points each and every Sunday," Robinson said. While the Dallas Cowboys could have played better on Sunday against the New York Giants, a win is a win in the NFL. For a talented Cowboys team, this could be all they need to go on a decent run in the next few weeks of the season. But if it weren't for Brandon Aubrey on Sunday, the Cowboys wouldn't be in the position they're currently in. Aubrey hit a massive 65-yard field goal in 2024 and almost one-upped himself against the Giants, blasting a 64-yard kick to send the game to overtime. He showed that he can make big kicks when needed, something every team in the NFL wants. However, for a Cowboys team that's messed around a bit with some other players in the past regarding extensions, there are questions about whether they'll keep him around. Despite those questions, Jerry Jones made it seem like it's in the team's best interest to get something done in the near future. "He certainly is coming. We'll be looking at that," Jones said per the team. "Probably have had communications since the kick. But he's certainly in the future." Cowboys cannot afford to lose their kicker. Having a good kicker is significant in the NFL, as games can be won and lost by just a point or two. Having someone the Dallas Cowboys can rely on every single week is the reason why they're in the position they're in after Week 2. Aubrey isn't just good from 60+, as head coach Brian Schottenheimer went as far as saying that if he had to, he would have tried him from 70 yards. That might sound ridiculous, but his kick on Sunday looked like it would have been good from 70 yards or more. "We would try it from 70-ish. We've seen him make those before," he said on Sunday, per the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. We always want to try to get as close as we can. But he's always like, yeah, I'm good. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. Dak's always like, what's the line to make? And I'm like, yeah, 50-ish. 50-ish. He's like, okay, that's like a 67 to 70-yard field goal. So there's really not one, but the confidence that you see the guy kick with is just incredible. Brandon Aubrey just wants to help Dallas win. Aubrey doesn't try to do too much for the Dallas Cowboys. Instead, he looks to help his team win games. At the end of the day, he believes that he has a job to do, and if he isn't doing that at the highest level, he isn't helping his team win. It's an important part of his game, showing that he not only wants to play as well as he possibly can, but also does whatever it takes to ensure the Cowboys are in a position to win games. We all have a job to do, and going into that last kick, there were like 30 seconds left and they scored the touchdown just praying for an opportunity, Aubrey said. Once we got in range, I was just walking through my normal process, which is just focusing on the details that it takes to kick a ball. I'm not really worried about what the situation is. You've got a job to put the ball through the upright, so I just try to do that. Hopefully, Jones will reward him with a contract for that. The Dallas Cowboys just bid farewell to their all-pro edge rusher Micah Parsons, but could they replace him with another elite defensive end? That's the hypothetical situation suggested by Marcus Mosher of the Locked On Cowboys podcast. The deal would allow Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office to retain all the pieces from the Parsons trade, while also acquiring the NFL's sack leader last season. Cowboys trade for Trey Hendrickson. Here's the hypothetical deal Mosher suggested. Cowboys receive Trey Hendrickson. Bengals receive second-round pick, 2026. A trade like this would likely also be attached to a long-term extension for Hendrickson. The all-pro edge rusher held out of training camp before getting a $14 million raise for the season, bringing his number to $30 million in the final year of his deal. If you're the Cowboys, could you make the argument he's not Micah Parsons, but he's $15 million cheaper? He's had more sacks over the last couple of years, Mosher said. We don't have to pay him as much and keep those first-round picks. Dallas clearly believes it needs help on the edges defensively after signing veteran Jadeveon Clowney to a one-year, $4 million deal this week. A trade for an edge rusher who had 17.5 sacks last season while retaining Kenny Clark and the 2 first-rounders acquired in the Parsons deal would be an optimal situation for the Cowboys. And with Joe Burrow potentially out for the season, it could make sense for the Bengals too. But with Jerry Jones' hesitancy to sign Parsons to a long-term extension, would he feel differently about Hendrickson? If he wants to spread the money across the roster, this deal could fall through. It's a trade that's totally possible, but it's more likely to remain a hypothetical.